What's up, guys? So we're at the Civic Hospital. It's 6 a.m. right now. So I kind of tore my Achilles on my left foot playing soccer. I went to the emergency like the day after. It happened like a week ago. And then I went to emergency and they're like, "Yeah, you tore that shit right up." I'm like, "Nice." So essentially, I have to get the tendon, like basically your Achilles attached to your calf to your heel. So basically, like, there's a big separation, so they're just gonna reattach that. And yeah, so surgery is in like 15, 20 minutes, and then I'm gonna be sedated for like 3, 4 hours, but surgery itself is gonna be like 2 hours. So yeah, when it comes to Achilles injuries, generally speaking, because it's so far away from like your main circulation, it takes a long time to heal. So right now, I'm probably gonna be in a cast for like 8 to 9 weeks, and I won't be able to get full functioning for like 6 months. I don't know how that's gonna affect bodybuilding, to be honest. So we're still out here doing legs, like leg extensions, leg curls, but it is a long recovery, and I have to go for physio. I gotta essentially like learn how to walk again, but it's just what it is. So sucks, but whatever. At least I have my upper body I can train, my right leg I can train. I can still train my hamstrings and quads, so it should be good. Just can't do squats or anything that's weight bearing on my left leg. Okay, so nurse just called us, said they're taking us in now, so let's start the surgery, and I will see you guys in a bit. What's up, guys? Surgery was a success. Now it's time to recover. Bro, I'm so out of it, I swear. They gave me so much painkillers and anesthesia. Yeah. I'm high as fuck right now. Bro, I keep going in and out of sleep. Like, I can't even stay awake. What's going on, guys? It's October 31st, Halloween. We are now 7 months post-surgery, and it's been a long 7 months, to be honest. It's been a long 7 months. I've had, essentially, I was in a hard cast for 3 weeks, and I was in a soft air cast for maybe 2 months. All in all, I was basically in a cast for, ooh, it's actually windy. I was in a cast for a total of probably like 3, 4 months. I'm not gonna lie, it was bullshit. Like I couldn't do anything, to be honest. But I learned a lot, to be honest. I did lose quite a bit of size and obviously strength, but honestly, it came back. I was back to training. I want to say it's been what, like 3 months now, 4 months. So at the 4 month mark, I was back to training pretty heavy. Basically, when I got the cast off, I was able to train. Like I was able to inch back into it, but then the tendon is still like it's still very tender, so I couldn't really push like the weight that much. But it's only now that I'm back to 100%, and yes, I'm playing soccer again. I know my coach had some reservations for that, and I know a lot of people did, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna stop doing what I love just because it's dangerous. I mean, I've just learned to cope with what you got. Like you gotta be more. Like, look, as a bodybuilder, it's very hard to be agile, right? I mean, you're training two different types of muscle groups, but at the same time, if you're gonna do it, you gotta prepare yourself for what's to come. So essentially, I never did mobility. To be honest, I actually never gave a shit about mobility, but now that I'm doing soccer again, I'm playing like 1 to 2 times a week games, and then I'm actually having practice. Like I'm taking like 2 mobility. Like I have a mobility therapist or mobility coach. I'm seeing her once a week, sometimes even twice. I'm going for scraping once a week. I'm taking all the things I need, like very seriously when it comes to that. So at least now I'm becoming less injury prone. I'm not pushing my body weight as aggressively as I was before, which is also a big reason as to maybe why I tore my Achilles. After my competition, I had a sick rebound. I put on, I mean, I was up like 30 pounds for my stage weight, but it was very good weight. However, muscle can grow linearly for the most part, where your joints, your ligaments, your tendons, they take time to catch up. They don't work as linearly as muscle growth. So because I had that sudden shock of all this extra size, it took a while for my body to acclimate to that. And with that being said, I obviously became extremely injury prone. I mean, I was pulling something every week. It was minor pulls, but the Achilles that day was, I mean, anything that could go wrong went wrong. Like I was dehydrated that day. Obviously with PED use, that increases your likelihood of joint and tendon, or specifically tendon damage, and then also the aggressive weight that I put on prior to that. And yeah, recovery was long, not gonna lie. I mean, being someone who's very active to someone who became extremely sedentary, like my average steps went from like 10,000 a day to literally 400. It wasn't as painful, to be honest, as it was mentally like painful. Like just sitting there and watching like your gains kind of wither away. It was rough. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it is known to be like damage to your Achilles or anywhere to your foot is known to be one of the more severe injuries, especially because it's further from circulation, which is why it takes very long to heal. What did I do for recovery? So there's a few things I did. One was obviously listen to what my doctor said, in the sense of like each week, like I'd push in terms of like physio. So they give me like certain exercises to do, and I would follow that religiously. That's a given. The other one is more unorthodox, which is something called peptides. So I use TB500 and I use BPC 157, and I'll break down the doses in the prompt over here or here, wherever. But essentially, TB500 lowers systemic inflammation. BPC 157 helps repair tissue. In conjunction with growth hormone, it helps the whole injury site, helps to build up that tissue and helps basically just help it heal. And I was doing that religiously for a few months in the time that I was in the hard cast. And see, I have a friend who tore his Achilles 6 weeks prior to me, and so I was comparing with him because he didn't use peptides, whereas I did. And so our recovery journey was actually the same. So you could say maybe it sped up the process by 6 weeks, but again, correlation does not mean causation. However, when I did have my gyno surgery, I did use peptides and growth hormone, and that sped up my recovery exponentially too. So again, I'm not saying that stuff 100% speeds up recovery every single time, but there's a strong likelihood that it's going to help. Aside from those two things, I made sure I stayed on top of nutrition. That was one big thing. I mean, I went from eating 6,500 calories peak off season down to like 2,500, 3,000. Again, that was because of what I had to be mindful of what my expenditure was. So I was also very hungry, right? Going from a huge surplus of calories down to essentially half of what I was eating it was definitely I was just hungry all the time, to be honest. Paired with the fact that I was on crutches, couldn't go really anywhere. Like even showering was a pain in the fucking ass. Like I got like this thing from Amazon where it's like a leg condom pretty much. Like I had the cast that was up to here, so essentially I had to like roll it up all the way up to here because I couldn't let the cast get wet. Because if water went in, like there's no way of taking it off. So essentially I'd like just be itchy and get irritated skin. So that was painful. No, that was inconvenient. It wasn't painful, just inconvenient. But to be honest, it also taught me a lot. In these 7 months, I learned to be patient and work in God's time. I do believe that injuries are just a way for God to telling you to slow down. But we're 7 months after. I'm now at 195 pounds. My peak off season, when I got the injury, I was 206.4 pounds. So about 11 pounds away, roughly. But also, muscle memory is going to kick in pretty quick. Yeah, I'm so far happy with where things are going now, especially the fact that I'm able to play soccer, not get as injury prone, but also dealing with what I got. I mean, it is painful like to play sometimes, like the sight of injury. I do have moments where Not the site of injury it hurts, but where they attached it. Essentially, this is my Achilles. This is where they did the surgery. They attached it to my heel. Where they attached it, that sometimes bothers me. So I just have to be mindful of that. But I wear a brace. But I essentially have no limitations. It's more mental than anything. Like I can run full speed if I really wanted to, but I just choose to take the more, I guess, cautious approach, which is why like I won't ever run full speed. When I'm playing soccer, I'll probably cap myself at 70%. So moving forward, the way things stand is I have essentially 9 weeks left of my off season. It's been pretty productive, not gonna lie. I have had some serious setbacks. Like I got sick. I got pneumonia like a week or two ago, and then prior to that, I had to get my wisdom teeth removed. That fucked me up, but that aside, I was able to bounce back. Yeah, so I have 9 weeks left of off season. Then I'm gonna go into a health phase for anywhere between 4 to 8 weeks. Obviously, it depends on my blood work, and then I'm gonna start prepping. And yeah, I'm gonna prep starting probably February. January, February is like roughly the timeline, and then I'm looking at competing at either the Fuads or maybe the King Kong, and then do Toronto Pro in June. And honestly, this is probably the last time I'm gonna be able to compete, possibly for the next little bit. I still plan on competing, but at least I might have to put it on the back burner just for a bit. Because I'm moving, but yeah, that's what things are looking like moving forward. So that's what's happening moving forward. I'm excited to be competing. I'm excited to show you a whole prep with me this time around. I mean, this is gonna be the first prep that we're gonna record fully, and I'm really excited. And also the transition from prepping into other aspects of my life. The channel will take a slight turn. I mean, although I may put competing on pause just for a bit, definitely not permanent, but I do have something special that we're gonna start adding to the channel. So with that being said, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.